What's up, everybody? Trayvon here with Scent Talk TV, and today this is a first impression video of fragrances that I bought from my local Ross, Marshalls, and Burlington. Ross, Marshalls, and Burlington. But I'm talking too much. Without further ado, let's just jump into it. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to start off with this one that I got from Marshalls. This is from the house of Khadlaj, if I pronounced that right. If I didn't, whatever. Khadlaj Island Extrait de Parfum. Yes. This one right here has been getting a lot of hype based on the research that I have done on social media and other platforms. This fragrance right here ran me $35 and some change. Voila, here is the bottle. The bottle is dope. The gradient black to green. This is a very, very luxurious looking bottle. And it feels very, very good in my hands too. This is a very, very pretty bottle. Ooh, that atomizer. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Banger. It's reminding me of a fragrance that is like a designer fragrance. It's giving me Paco Rabanne's Phantom vibes. It's also giving me either some sort of Valentino type of a smell. This is a winner hidden gem of a fragrance. This smells so good. It has the familiarity in terms of the sweetness of Paco Rabanne's Phantom, but it does go into a different direction that is quite different from Paco Rabanne's Phantom. That typical sweetness that you get from Phantom is like laying underneath like this poppy, sparkly type of a bubblegummy fruitiness that is dark and rich and is more suitable for like, I say like all year round except for the summertime, because this is a little bit too on the sweeter side for the summertime. But around this time of year, fall, crawling into winter, this will be a great like signature scent for those seasons. A sweet, smooth, candy-like accord that is dark and rich with a little twinge, not a little twinge, but a lot of a twinge of that familiarity of Paco Rabanne's Phantom. I like this so much. And for the price, man, mega steal, if I do say so myself. It's another fragrance that this reminds me of. It's on the tip of my tongue, but I cannot figure out what it is. Those of you who are familiar with this fragrance, please leave what fragrance does this resides with, and familiarity to you. Tell me that in the comment section below, because I need to know so I can get some type of lead on, man, it's on the tip of my tongue. I just cannot figure out what it is, but it'll probably come to me later on in this video. But let's move along. Okay, up next, I got this fragrance from Ross, Dress for Less, and it's from the house of Paco Rabanne. This is Paco Rabanne's Invictus Platinum, 100 milliliter size bottle of possible greatness. Who knows? First impression. So I'm excited to crack this bad boy open and see what this fragrance is working with. This fragrance ran me $75 and some change. I know what some of you are thinking. That is probably a steep price for this, but to my budget, it fits. So if it works for me price-wise, well, let's see if it works for me smell-wise. Let's see what it's working with as far as the smells to my nostrils. Babooyah! Here is the bottle. Yo, if you like the original Invictus, this one goes into a completely different direction compared to the original, because it shares some type of, some green menthol type of accord that's like really sprouting its head early within this fragrance so far in the opening. It has like a green, yet somewhat of a foresty like mossiness in the opening, but you do get that slight, ever so slight familiarity to the original inside of here. It was people saying in reviews and like, you know, forums and stuff online saying that this is a resemblance of Carolina Herrera's Bad Boy Kobo. But there isn't too much of familiarity, at least on my skin. It's there, the familiarity, but it is overshadowed with this green mossy menthol type of accord that's masculine. To be fair, it's not turning me off. It's not making me go, ew, this is disgusting. But so far, I like it, based on the fact that it is different from the original, which is a good thing. As it dries down on my skin, you know, that like green menthol type of accord that I was getting in the opening does not last at all. You know, after a few, I'd say like a minute or so, you know, it kind of dissipates and toned down a lot, but it's still noticeable. My goodness. I like it because of the originality compared to the original. You know, is different. You know, is very, very different. I do like this. As it dries down on my skin, it's growing on me a lot more and more and more as that sweetness and that playfulness comes in, as it resides on my skin, as it lays on my skin, lasts on my skin, persists on my skin. That captivity of that sweetness is reeling me in quite fast as it persists on my skin. Yo, this is good, man. I ain't gonna stunt. This is really good. Performance, unknown. But so far, the performance is like booming off my hand right now. But this one right here is pretty good. I'm talking too much. Let's get into the next one. All right, the third one that I got from my local Ross Dress for Less as well. From the house of Calvin Klein, this is CK1 Essence. Yes, Lord. Now, when I was researching this in store while holding this in my hands, somebody said, a reviewer said that this one is, if you like the CK1 but you do not like the terrible performance that it has, this one takes that same DNA and makes it a little bit more, not a little bit, a lot more stronger, and it lasts. That is yet to be discovered though. This fragrance ran me $45 and some change. Fingerprint magnet this bottle is. If you're unfamiliar with the CK1 bottles, this is how they roll. It looks a lot like this. However, you got to unscrew this cap and put the nozzle in manually, which is something that is not too much of a nuisance, but it is what it is. Spray is always nice on each and every last one of them too. Ooh, 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 ooh. Ooh. Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. The familiar, excuse me. My endorphins are about to take off right now because I'm about to stumble over my words. The endorphins inside of my head, the dopamine that is circulating within my head right now after sniffing this fragrance, takes that DNA, the original CK1 DNA, and amplify it to greatness that is beyond measurable. Fresh, powdery, gives it a little bit more of an old school nostalgia type of a smell and accord. It really doesn't have that old dated grandpa type of nostalgic type of accord. No. If you like I said, the CK1 original, it takes it and makes it more dense, bolder, and a little bit more louder on your skin. It has a little bit more of a creamy floral masculinity to this as well. Soft sweetness, fresh, and uplifting to my nose. This is basically a spring and summertime fragrance because of it doesn't have any fruitiness or anything like that. It's more so on a powdery masculine floral side that's a little bit nostalgic to my nose. Drying down on my skin though, it's giving off a green accord, you know, herbaceous, kind of like like a herbal type of a herbaceous culinary greenness as it sits on my skin. It's kind of like a fresh, dirty earthiness underneath that green accord. Still staying true to the original as it dries down on my skin, of course. Also, that powdery floralness that's masculine is still doing its thing as it persists on my skin, ladies and gentlemen. It's a keeper. Last but not least, next. All right, ladies and gentlemen, from my local Burlington, I managed to pick up from the house of Lattafa Lail Maleki, if I pronounced that right, Moroccan Blue. There we go. I have the original, and a lot of people hate the original, which I think the original is not bad, but I can see why people do not like it compared to this one. Even though I haven't smelled this one before, hopefully it is a banger based off the impressions of other people. I am having high hopes for this one. This fragrance ran me $23 and some change. Here you go. Look at the dope bottle. I like it. The blue, the shades of blue, I like it. It resonates with me greatly, but let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, in the opening, I just got punched in the nose. I just got the nose hairs ripped out of my nose when it comes to a very bold, oody woodiness. That's all I smelled. That's all I could smell inside this fragrance in the opening. But the other chords are starting to creep in, like, you know, quite fast, but it threw me off. It threw me off until I had to tell myself in my head, like, hey, look, give it some time, give it some time. Cause man, I'm like, man, what is this? But let me give it some time. Okay, this is more of on the refreshing, sweet, like airy side of the spectrum, with some earthiness and woodiness underneath that. I'm definitely getting some type of masculine oud. Like the oud is not stanky, it's not too animalic. You know, you can tell that it's there. I'm getting some type of woodiness. It could be oud, it could be not oud. But I'm getting some type of a heavy, woody accord inside of this fragrance. However, besides all of that, fresh, airy, sweet, soft sweet, and tangy. When it comes to I'm getting some type of candy-like sweetness that's fresh and uplifting and kind of linear at the same time. You know, it's not too much of a bold in your face, which is kind of a good thing because it's a lot of aggressive woody notes that's inside of here. First, like, you know, in the opening up top, that's all I got. But if it was like backed up with like a lot of sweetness and freshness and stuff like that, I think that this would be too much and probably headache inducing, but I'm talking too much. I kind of like this, though it is kind of familiar from something that I own somewhere in my collection around here. I don't remember what it is. I got so many, but I do remember smelling this fragrance somewhere in my collection. Not exactly the same because of that oudiness or that woodiness or something like that that's in here. It's kind of like doing its own thing. So it's not really a redundant purchase, which is a good thing. But yeah, I let this completely dry down on my skin, and it has like some type of a sweet yet fresh type of a soft spice to it that's woody. The woodiness that I got in the opening of this fragrance is not as bold as it was. It tamed down a whole lot. And a little bit more attractive accords is starting to show its face, which is a good thing. Because I got way too many like woody oody type of fragrances. You know, I just want something a little bit different. But yeah, this is good. I like this too. But to wrap this video up, which fragrance do I like the most out of all the ones that I presented to you lovely people? I'm gonna have to go with CK1 Essence, man, because this one shocked me because, yo, the CK1's like summer lines and all that stuff, like they got some bangers of like scent profiles, but they don't last. And so far, this one is doing its thing. I'm like a good maybe 5 to 10 minutes in from letting this dry down on my skin, and Usually CK1 summer fragrances or just CK1 fragrances in general don't even project that much, but this is booming. I like this one. And then second, it will be this one right here. And then platinum, as well as this one taking the last spot. Good news is, I feel like those fragrances are worthy of a full review. So if you want full reviews of these fragrances, I got you. So that's all that I have for Scent Talk TV, ladies and gentlemen. And as always, you know what to do. You gotta like, comment, share, and subscribe, and make sure you hit that notification bell so you don't miss anything. And I will see you guys in the next video. Be safe out there and be blessed. And have a good one. I'm out of here. Peace.